The void's terror. The vast expanse of the Milky Way glittered with countless stars, a tapestry of light and possibility that had captivated spacefaring races for millennia. Yet amidst this cosmic beauty lurked a phenomenon that struck fear into the hearts of even the most advanced civilizations: the void. Captain Ilara Chen stood at the helm of the Earth Federation's flagship, the Horizon, her dark eyes fixed on the swirling darkness that consumed a quarter of the main view screen. The void defied conventional physics, a region of space where the laws of nature seemed to break down. Stars disappeared into its maw, never to be seen again. Entire fleets had vanished attempting to traverse its depths. "Status report," Ilara commanded, her voice steady despite the unease that crept along her spine. Her first officer, a tall Arcturian named Zix, chittered softly before responding. "All systems nominal, Captain. We're maintaining a safe distance from the void's event horizon." Ilara nodded, grateful for the alien's calm presence. The Horizon's mission was one of diplomacy and first contact, assembled with a crew representing a dozen different species. Humanity had only recently joined the galactic community, their rapid technological advancements and fearless curiosity earning them both admiration and suspicion. "Open a channel to the Galactic Council," Ilara ordered. Within moments, the holographic form of High Counselor Vexera shimmered into existence on the bridge. The Salaxians' tentacles writhed with anxiety, their bioluminescent skin pulsing with unease. "Captain Chen." Vexera's telepathic voice reverberated in Ilara's mind. "Your proximity to the void is concerning. We strongly advise you to alter your course immediately." Ilara fought the urge to sigh. The Council's fear of the void bordered on religious fervor. "With all due respect, Counselor, we're well outside the danger zone. The Horizon's sensors are gathering invaluable data on the void's properties." Vexera's form flickered, agitation clear in their posture. "You don't understand the risks, Captain. The void is not merely a spatial anomaly. It is a hunger that devours reality itself. Countless civilizations have been lost to its insatiable appetite." As if on cue, alarms blared across the Horizon's bridge. Zix's exoskeleton rattled as he called out, "Captain." Massive energy spike detected within the void. Ilara's training kicked in, her voice sharp with authority. "Red alert. All hands to battle stations. Helm, prepare for emergency maneuvers." The view screen erupted with tendrils of darkness, reaching out from the void like grasping fingers. Ilara watched in horrified fascination as the laws of physics seemed to warp around the encroaching anomaly. "Counselor," she said, her eyes never leaving the screen, "I'm afraid we'll have to continue this discussion later." Vexera's hologram dissipated, leaving the Horizon's crew to face the oncoming storm alone. Ilara gripped the arms of her command chair, her mind racing through potential strategies. "Engineering. Divert all available power to the shields," she ordered. "Zix, what's the status of our experimental void drive?" The Arcturian's compound eyes widened in surprise. "Captain, it's untested. The risks are less than certain destruction," Ilara finished. "Prepare to engage on my mark." As the tendrils of void energy lashed against the Horizon's shields, Ilara felt the ship shudder beneath her feet. Warning klaxons echoed through the corridors, accompanied by the panicked voices of the crew. "Shields at 60% and falling," called out Lieutenant Kira Nomura from the tactical station. The young officer's hands flew across her console, rerouting power and adjusting shield harmonics in a desperate attempt to hold the void at bay. Ilara's mind raced, weighing the odds. The void drive was humanity's closely guarded secret, a technology born from their relentless drive to explore the unknown. It was meant to be their trump card in joining the galactic community, not an untested lifeline in the face of cosmic horror. "Engineering, status of the void drive," Ilara demanded. Chief Engineer Ravi Mehta's voice crackled over the comm, strained but determined. "Online, Captain, but I can't guarantee she'll hold together." A massive tendril of void energy slammed into the Horizon, sending crew members sprawling across the bridge. Ilara clung to her chair, feeling the ship's superstructure groan under the assault. "Shields critical," Kira shouted, her voice cracking with fear. Ilara made her decision. "All hands, brace for void jump. Engaging drive in 3, 2, 1. Mark." The universe seemed to hold its breath for a heartbeat. Then, reality itself twisted around the horizon. Ilara felt her insides lurch as space-time folded in impossible ways. The view screen filled with a kaleidoscope of colors never before seen by human eyes, accompanied by a deafening silence that pressed against her eardrums. For what felt like an eternity, the horizon hung suspended between realities. Ilara saw her crew frozen in place, their faces contorted in a mixture of awe and terror. She tried to speak, to move, but found herself paralyzed by forces beyond comprehension. And then, with a thunderous crack that shook Ilara to her very atoms, the horizon burst back into normal space. Emergency lights bathed the bridge in an eerie red glow as systems slowly came back online. "Report," Ilara croaked, her throat raw as if she'd been screaming for hours. Zix pulled himself up from the floor, his exoskeleton creaking. We've cleared the void, Captain. But our position is unknown. None of the star patterns match our database." As the main view screen flickered back to life, Ilara's breath caught in her throat. Before them stretched a vista of unparalleled beauty, a nebula of swirling purples and blues, dotted with newborn stars that pulsed with vibrant energy. "By the great hives," Zix whispered, his usual stoicism shattered by wonder. Ilara stood on shaky legs, her eyes fixed on the celestial marvel before them. "It seems, my friend, that we've gone where no one has gone before." As the horizon's systems stabilized and the crew regained their composure, Ilara felt a mixture of pride and trepidation. They had survived the void, unlocking a method of travel that could revolutionize galactic exploration. But at what cost? And what mysteries, or dangers, awaited them in this uncharted region of space? One thing was certain: humanity had taken its first steps into a larger universe, and nothing would ever be the same again. Humanity's breakthrough. The news of the horizon's miraculous survival and unprecedented journey spread through the galactic community like wildfire. What was once whispered in fear was now spoken of with a mixture of awe and suspicion. Humans had tamed the void. Dr. Samantha Reeves stood before the Galactic Council, her heart pounding beneath her crisp uniform. The cavernous chamber, designed to accommodate beings of all shapes and sizes, seemed to close in around her. Hundreds of eyes, some multifaceted, others bioluminescent, and a few that defied description, focused intently on the human scientist. "Distinguished members of the council," Samantha began, her voice steady despite her nerves, "what you are about to witness is the culmination of decades of human research and innovation. We call it the Void Harmonizer." With a gesture, she activated the holographic display at the center of the chamber. A complex array of interlocking fields and energy matrices sprang to life, rotating slowly for all to see. High Counselor Vexera leaned forward, their tentacles twitching with barely contained agitation. "You claim this device allows safe passage through the void. Preposterous. The void consumes all. It cannot be reasoned with, let alone controlled." Samantha smiled, a glint of pride in her eyes. "With all due respect, Counselor, that's where you're wrong. The void isn't a monster to be feared. It's a natural phenomenon, complex beyond our current understanding, but not unknowable." She manipulated the hologram, zooming in on a particular section. "Our breakthrough came when we stopped trying to fight the void, and instead learned to harmonize with it. The Void Harmonizer creates a bubble of altered space-time around a ship, allowing it to slip between the currents of the void like a fish through water." Murmurs rippled through the assembly. Some counselors chittered excitedly, while others recoiled in horror at the very notion of treating the void as anything other than a cosmic abomination. Ambassador Karthok of the Droxy Imperium, a being of living crystal, chimed in with a resonant tone. "This technology, if proven, would revolutionize galactic travel and commerce. But the risks are manageable, Samantha interjected smoothly. We've conducted over 100 successful tests, including the unplanned but fortuitous journey of the horizon. Our simulations show a success rate of 99.98%, with fail-safes to eject vessels back into normal space in the event of any anomalies. The council chamber erupted into a cacophony of debate. Species that had been at odds for millennia found themselves unlikely allies in their skepticism of human claims, while others saw the potential for a new age of exploration and discovery. Amidst the chaos, a quiet voice cut through the noise. Elder Zilloax of the Coolian Collective, a being so ancient that rumors spoke of their witnessing the birth of stars, raised a gnarled appendage. Silence fell immediately. Young one, Xyloax addressed Samantha, their voice a whisper that nonetheless carried to every corner of the chamber. Your species' achievement is remarkable. But have you considered the consequences of your actions? The void has kept many horrors at bay. In piercing its veil, you may have opened a door that cannot be closed. Samantha felt a chill run down her spine, but she stood her ground. Elder Zilloax, we understand the gravity of our discovery. That's precisely why we've come before the Council. We seek not to hoard this technology, but to share it, to work together in exploring the mysteries that lie beyond the void. High Counselor Vexeris bioluminescence pulsed rapidly, a sign of intense thought. And if we refuse, if we demand that you cease this dangerous research? The human scientist took a deep breath, choosing her next words carefully. With all due respect, Counselor, that's not an option. The proverbial genie is out of the bottle. We can either work together to harness this power responsibly, or risk it falling into the hands of those who would use it recklessly. As if to punctuate her point, alarms blared throughout the council chamber. Holographic screens materialized, showing a massive fleet of ships approaching the galactic core. At their head was a vessel of impossible proportions, its hull crackling with void energy. By the cosmic egg, gasped the counselor, it's the Scourge. They've returned. Panic gripped the assembly. The Scourge, a nomadic race of conquerors, had been the stuff of legend, supposedly lost to the void eons ago. Their return could only mean one thing: war on a scale the galaxy had never seen. Samantha's mind raced. The Void Harmonizer was still in its early stages, not ready for full-scale deployment. But faced with annihilation, what choice did they have? She locked eyes with Vexara, a silent understanding passing between them. The High Counselor's tentacles writhed for a moment before settling into a pose of grim determination. Dr. Reeves, Vexara's telepathic voice resonated with newfound respect. It seems the galaxy is in need of humanity's breakthrough sooner than any of us anticipated. What do you propose? Samantha straightened her back, her scientist's caution warring with the soldier's resolve that ran in her family's blood. We fight fire with fire, Counselor. We use the void itself as our weapon and our shield. She turned to address the entire council, her voice ringing with conviction. Members of the Galactic Council, I stand before you not just as a representative of Earth, but as a fellow sentient being with a stake in our shared future. The Scourge threatens everything we hold dear, but together, with human ingenuity and a combined wisdom of 1,000 worlds, we can turn the tide. Samantha's words seemed to galvanize the assembly. Species that had been bitter enemies found themselves nodding in agreement. The chamber, so recently filled with fear and suspicion, now thrummed with a growing sense of unity and purpose. Elder Zilloax's ancient eyes fixed on Samantha, a flicker of what might have been hope glimmering in their depths. So be it, child of Earth. Let it be known that on this day, the galaxy stands united. May your Void Harmonizer be the key to our salvation, or the instrument of our doom. As the council mobilized for war, Samantha felt the weight of countless lives settling on her shoulders. The Void Harmonizer, conceived as a tool of exploration, would now be thrust into the crucible of conflict. She only hoped that in reaching into the darkness, humanity hadn't doomed the very galaxy they sought to join. With a deep breath, she opened a comm channel to Earth. "This is Dr. Reeves. Operation Void Shield is a go. May whatever gods are out there have mercy on us all." The battle for the galaxy's soul was about to begin, with humanity and their mastery of the void at its very heart. The Void Rush. The galaxy held its breath as the combined fleets of 100 worlds faced off against the Scourge. Humanity's void harmonizers, hastily retrofitted to ships of all shapes and sizes, became the linchpin of the Allied defense. The battle raged across the stars, with void-enhanced vessels dancing between realities, striking at the Scourge with unprecedented speed and precision. In the end, it wasn't brute force that won the day, but the adaptability and unpredictability of the multi-species alliance. The Scourge, for all their technological terror, couldn't match the creative tactics born from the melding of 1,000 different strategic doctrines. As the last Scourge dreadnought fell silent, a new era dawned for the galactic community. 5 years after the Battle of the Galactic Core, Captain Ilara Chen found herself once again staring into the swirling depths of the void. But this time, instead of fear, she felt a thrill of excitement coursing through her veins. "All systems check out, Captain," reported Commander Zix, his exoskeleton gleaming with new bio-augmentations, a gift from the Silaxian geneticists in gratitude for his role in the war. "The Horizon Aya is ready for her maiden voyage." Ilara nodded, a smile playing at the corners of her mouth. "Excellent. Helm, set course for the Andromeda Galaxy. Engage void drive when ready." As the Horizon Eye slipped effortlessly into the void, Ilara marveled at how quickly the universe had changed. The void, once a barrier that fragmented the galactic community, had become a highway connecting the farthest reaches of space. Humanity's breakthrough had ushered in an unprecedented era of exploration and discovery. But with great power came great responsibility and great temptation. On the frontier world of Novaterra, Derek Hawkins wiped the sweat from his brow as he examined the readouts from his mining rig. The planet's crust was rich with exotic elements formed in the depths of the void, materials with properties that defied conventional physics. Another motherlode, boys. He called out to his crew, a motley assortment of humans and aliens united in their quest for riches. "At this rate, we'll be able to retire to our own private moons by the end of the year." As Derek's team celebrated, a sleek ship descended from the violet sky. Its hull bore the insignia of the Galactic Regulatory Commission, a newly formed body tasked with overseeing void-related activities. Commissioner Lyritzizin, a Lith Arcadian with iridescent scales, stepped out of the ship with a team of armed peacekeepers. "Mr. Hawkins," she called out, her voice carrying a hint of steel beneath its melodic tones, "I'm afraid I'll have to ask you and your crew to cease operations immediately." Derek's face fell. "On whose authority?" "We've got all the proper permits." Lyra's multifaceted eyes narrowed. "By the authority of the Galactic Council. New studies have shown that excessive void mining is destabilizing the fabric of space-time itself. We're instituting an immediate moratorium on all unauthorized extractions." As Derek and his crew reluctantly powered down their equipment, similar scenes played out across dozens of worlds. The Void Rush, as it had come to be known, was wreaking havoc on the delicate balance of the universe. Back on Earth, in the gleaming spires of New Geneva, the Galactic Council convened an emergency session. Dr. Samantha Reeves, now serving as humanity's chief representative, found herself once again at the center of a storm. "The situation is dire," intoned High Counselor Vexara, their bioluminescence pulsing with anxiety. "Void incursions are increasing in frequency and intensity. Entire star systems are at risk of being swallowed whole." Samantha leaned forward, her face etched with concern. "Our scientists are working around the clock to develop new containment measures. If we can recalibrate the void harmonizers to act as stabilizers." "More human tampering is not the answer," thundered Ambassador Karthok, his crystalline form vibrating with anger. "It was your reckless exploitation of the void that brought us to this precipice." The council chamber erupted into chaos, with accusations and counter-accusations flying. Humanity found itself on the defensive, their miraculous breakthrough now viewed by many as a catastrophic mistake. Amidst the tumult, a quiet voice cut through the noise. Elder Zilloax, who had been silent for much of the proceedings, raised a gnarled appendage. "Peace," the ancient being whispered, and once again silence fell. "We stand at a crossroads, my friends. The void has revealed both wonders and horrors beyond our imagining. But let us not forget the lesson of the scourge. It was not one race alone that saved us, but the combined strength of many." Zilloax's eyes, filled with the wisdom of eons, swept across the assembly. The humans opened the door, yes, but we all chose to step through it. Now we must all bear the responsibility of what lies beyond. Samantha felt a glimmer of hope. Elder Zilloax is right. We caused this problem together, and only together can we solve it. I propose a joint task force, combining the greatest minds from every world, not to exploit the void, but to understand it, to find a way to live in harmony with it, as we do with all aspects of nature. Slowly, heads began to nod. Even Ambassador Carthok's crystalline surface softened, reflecting a grudging agreement. High Counselor Vexera's tentacles waved thoughtfully. "It is decided, then. We will establish the Void Confluence, a collaborative effort to unravel the mysteries of the void and protect our reality from its encroachment." As the council adjourned, Samantha felt a mix of relief and trepidation. The void rush had brought untold riches and advancements, but at a terrible cost. Now, the race was on to save not just the galaxy, but the very fabric of space-time itself. Little did they know that deep within the void, ancient forces stirred. The barrier between realities had been weakened, and things long forgotten were beginning to take notice. Humanity's greatest triumph might yet prove to be the catalyst for its greatest challenge. As Samantha left the council chamber, her communicator chimed. It was a priority message from Captain Chen of the Horizon Io. As she read the report, her blood ran cold. "Oh no," she whispered, her voice barely audible. "What have we done?" The void rush was over. The real battle for the future of the universe was about to begin. Void War. The message from Captain Ilara Chen of the Horizon II sent shockwaves through the newly formed Void Confluence. During a routine exploration mission in the Andromeda Galaxy, the ship had encountered something that defied explanation. A massive structure of impossible geometry, pulsing with void energy. As the Horizon I approached for a closer look, the structure had come alive, tendrils of dark energy lashing out and nearly ensnaring the ship. Only Ilara's quick thinking and the advanced void drive had allowed them to escape. But the encounter had awakened something ancient and terrible. Dr. Samantha Reeves stood before the emergency session of the Galactic Council, her face grim as she delivered the news. "We believe we've made contact with the entity our predecessors called the Void Sovereign. According to ancient texts, it's a being of pure void energy, capable of reshaping reality itself." High Counselor Vexera's tentacles writhed in agitation. "And you've roused this monster from its slumber with your meddling." Samantha held up a hand, her voice steady. "Counselor, please. Assigning blame won't help us now. What matters is how we respond." Elder Zilloax nodded slowly, his ancient eyes filled with a mixture of fear and resignation. "The young one speaks wisely. The Void Sovereign was sealed away eons ago by a coalition of elder races. Now it falls to us to take up their mantle." As if in response to Zilloax's words, alarms blared throughout the council chamber. Holographic displays flickered to life, showing scenes of chaos across the galaxy. Void rifts were opening on dozens of worlds, disgorging nightmarish creatures that defied the laws of physics. The Void War had begun. In the months that followed, the galaxy witnessed conflict on a scale never before seen. The combined fleets of the Galactic Alliance clashed with waves of void-spawned horrors. Planets fell silent, their populations either evacuated or lost to the encroaching darkness. On the front lines, Captain Ilara Chen and the crew of the Horizon Aya found themselves spearheading daring missions into void-controlled space. Their ship, equipped with the latest innovations from the Void Confluence, was uniquely suited to navigate the shifting realities of the war zone. Void rift detected at coordinates 227 by 184. Called out Lieutenant Kira Nomura, her fingers flying over the tactical display. It's a big one, Captain. Ilara's eyes narrowed as she studied the swirling vortex on the main view screen. All hands, battle stations. Zix, prepare to engage the Harmony Shield. The Horizon Aya plunged into the rift, reality warping around them as they entered a pocket dimension created by the Void Sovereign. Inside, they found a scene of nightmare and wonder, floating islands of twisted matter, rivers of starlight, and at the center, a pulsing dark star that seemed to devour light itself. "By the cosmic egg," whispered Zix, his compound eyes wide with awe and terror. Ilara steeled herself. "Remember the mission. We need to plant the resonance bombs and get out before." Her words were cut short as a massive tendril of void energy lashed out, narrowly missing the ship. More followed, a forest of writhing darkness trying to ensnare them. "Evasive maneuvers," Ilara shouted. "Kira, target those tendrils with the phase disruptors." The battle that ensued was like nothing in human history. A dance of light and shadow, with the Horizon Aya weaving through impossible geometries as it fought against forces that defied comprehension. In the end, it was a combination of human ingenuity and alien wisdom that saved them. Zix, drawing on ancient Arcturian harmonics, recalibrated the ship's shields to resonate with the void energy. The tendrils recoiled, giving them the opening they needed. "Now," Ilara commanded, "deploy the bombs." A series of sleek projectiles shot out from the Horizon Aya, each one a marvel of cross-species engineering. As they detonated, they released a cascade of energy that began to unravel the pocket dimension from within. "Get us out of here," Ilara ordered as reality itself began to collapse around them. The Horizon Aya burst back into normal space just as the rift imploded behind them. Ilara allowed herself a moment of relief before opening a channel to Alliance Command. "Mission accomplished. The Helios Nexus has been neutralized." But their victory was just one of many battles in a war that raged across the cosmos. For every void rift they closed, two more seemed to open. The Galactic Alliance found itself pushed to the brink, with entire sectors lost to the encroaching darkness. On Earth, now serving as the headquarters for the Void Confluence, Dr. Samantha Reeves worked tirelessly with a team of the galaxy's brightest minds. They had made progress in understanding the nature of the Void and its connection to the Sovereign, but a final solution remained elusive. "We're missing something," Samantha muttered, staring at the holographic models floating before her. "The Void isn't just a force of destruction. It's trying to communicate." Her words were interrupted by a priority alert. A massive void rift had opened in the galactic core, larger than any they had seen before. The Void Sovereign was making its move. As fleets mobilized and civilians fled, Samantha felt a moment of clarity. The answer had been in front of them all along, hidden in the very harmonics they used to traverse the void. She rushed to the communication array, hailing the Horizon Aya. "Captain Chen, I need you to listen carefully. I think I know how to end this war, but it's going to take every ship we have." And a leap of faith. As Samantha outlined her plan, a mix of hope and disbelief spread across Ilara's face. "Doctor, if you're wrong about this, then we're no worse off than we are now," Samantha finished. "But if I'm right, we can end this war and usher in a new age of understanding." The plan was audacious, borderline insane. It would require perfect coordination between thousands of ships, each one calibrated to emit a specific frequency of void energy. Together, they would form a galaxy-wide resonance field, not to destroy the Void Sovereign, but to communicate with it. As the combined fleets of the Galactic Alliance took their positions, tension mounted. This was humanity's moment of truth. They had unlocked the secrets of the Void. and now they would either save the galaxy or doom it to eternal darkness. Ilara Chen's voice rang out across the comms, steady and resolute. All ships, stand by to engage void harmonizers on my mark. 3, 2, 1. Initiate. The galaxy held its breath as thousands of ships activated their void drives simultaneously. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, slowly, a wave of energy began to spread, rippling through the fabric of space-time itself. At the galactic core, the massive void rift pulsed and writhed. The Void Sovereign emerged, a being of such cosmic scale that it defied description. But instead of the expected onslaught, it paused, as if listening. For the first time since the war began, there was silence. Then, to the astonishment of all, the Void Sovereign began to respond, not with violence, but with patterns of energy that mirrored the harmonic field generated by the Alliance fleet. Samantha's eyes widened as she decoded the patterns. It's a language. We're actually communicating. As the exchange continued, the truth became clear. The Void Sovereign wasn't a malevolent entity bent on destruction. It was a cosmic force as fundamental to the universe as gravity or light, disturbed from its slumber by humanity's clumsy first steps into the void. The war that had raged across the galaxy hadn't been one of conquest, but of misunderstanding. As the realization dawned, a new era began to take shape. The void, once feared and exploited, would become a bridge between realities, a source of knowledge and power beyond imagining. Humanity, in unlocking the secrets of the void, had not only saved the galaxy, but had opened the door to a cosmic community far grander than anyone had ever dreamed. The Void War was over. The age of true enlightenment was about to begin. A new era. The aftermath of the Void War ushered in a period of unprecedented change and growth for the galactic community. The communication breakthrough with the Void Sovereign opened doors to realms of knowledge and possibility that had once been beyond imagination. Dr. Samantha Reeves stood on the observation deck of Harmony Station, a massive structure that orbited the point where normal space met the void. The station, a marvel of multi-species engineering, served as both a research facility and a diplomatic hub for interactions with the Void Sovereign. Remarkable, isn't it? A familiar voice said behind her. Samantha turned to see Captain Ilara Chen, her uniform now adorned with the insignia of an admiral. Every time I look out there, I'm in awe, Samantha replied, gesturing to the swirling patterns of void energy visible through the reinforced viewport. Ilara nodded, her eyes reflecting the cosmic dance outside. To think, just a few years ago, we saw this as something to be feared or conquered. Now it's the key to our future, Samantha finished. The two women stood in comfortable silence, watching as ships of various designs slipped in and out of the void. What had once been a perilous journey was now as routine as crossing an ocean. Their reverie was interrupted by a chime from Samantha's communicator. Dr. Reeves, the Galactic Council session is about to begin. Duty calls, Samantha sighed, straightening her jacket. Care to join me, Admiral? I have a feeling this is going to be an interesting meeting. The council chamber of Harmony Station was a far cry from the austere halls of old. Representatives from hundreds of species sat in a circular arrangement, with holographic interfaces allowing even the most exotic life forms to participate comfortably. At the center of the chamber, a pulsing orb of void energy hovered, the physical manifestation of the Void Sovereign's consciousness. High Counselor Vexera, looking far more at ease than in years past, called the session to order. Esteemed colleagues, honored Sovereign, we gather today to discuss the proposal for the first trans-reality expedition. A ripple of excitement passed through the assembly. The ability to traverse not just space, but entire realities had been the subject of intense research and debate since the end of the war. Ambassador Karthok, his crystalline form shimmering with anticipation, spoke up. The Droxy Imperium fully supports this initiative. The potential for scientific discovery is unparalleled, as does the Arcturian Collective, added Zix, now serving as his people's representative. However, we must proceed with caution. We've learned the hard way that there are forces out there beyond our comprehension. The Void Sovereign's orb pulsed, and a melodic series of tones filled the chamber. Years of study had allowed for near-perfect translation of the entity's complex language. The Sovereign agrees. Translated an AI interface, it offers to guide the expedition, ensuring safe passage through the layers of reality. However, it warns that some barriers were put in place for good reason. We must be prepared for anything we might encounter. Samantha stepped forward, her heart racing with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. Members of the Council, honored Sovereign, I propose that this expedition be a joint effort with representatives from all willing species. We started this journey into the void as separate races. Let's take this next giant leap together as a united galaxy. The chamber erupted in applause and expressions of agreement, or their species equivalent. Even Elder Zuluax, one of the last skeptics of void exploration, nodded its ancient head in approval. High Counselor Vexera's tentacles waved in a gesture of affirmation. It is decided then. We will form the Trans-Reality Exploration Corps, with Dr. Reeves and Admiral Chen leading the first expedition. May this new era of discovery bring wisdom and prosperity to all. As the council session adjourned, Samantha found herself surrounded by a whirlwind of congratulations and well wishes. But her eyes sought out Ilara, finding her old friend beaming with pride. "Looks like we're in for another adventure," Ilara said, clapping Samantha on the shoulder. Samantha grinned, feeling a familiar thrill of excitement, just like old times. Though I have to admit, I never imagined we'd be exploring other realities when we first stepped into the void. That's the beauty of it, isn't it? Ilara mused. The unknown, the endless possibilities. As they walked together towards the docking bay where their new ship, the Infinity, awaited, Samantha reflected on the journey that had brought them here. From humanity's first tentative steps into the galactic community to becoming the bridge between realities, it had been a path fraught with danger, wonder, and profound change. The void, once feared as a cosmic horror, had become the gateway to humanity's greatest adventure. And as they prepared to step once more into the unknown, Samantha felt a sense of unity not just with her fellow humans, but with all the beings she had come to know and respect. "You know," she said to Ilara as they boarded the Infinity, "I think this is what we were meant for all along. Not to conquer the void, but to understand it, to grow with it." Ilara nodded, taking her place in the captain's chair. "Couldn't agree more. Now shall we see what's out there?" With a command from Ilara, the Infinity's void drive hummed to life. The ship slipped gracefully into the swirling energies of the void, carrying with it the hopes and dreams of an entire galaxy. As reality itself began to shift around them, Samantha felt a profound sense of peace. Whatever lay ahead, whatever wonders or challenges awaited them in the vast multiverse, they would face it together, as explorers, as allies, as a united galactic family.